is thanks. Mostly to these three guys standing behind me, Carl, Rick and Mark, who have been instrumental obviously in the project, and obviously my thanks to them. They're all volunteers as well. It's amazing. I'm not paying any of them. The second person is Captain Peter Robinson, RFA retired. That means he's not sure. I'm not sure where Captain Robinson is. Is he on a rib yet, or he's probably out there somewhere? Anyway, he's our safety advisor. I've had more cups of coffee with Peter in the last week than I've had by myself. He's been absolutely key in the project. He's coming out with us today, and I want to thank him too. Alistair is kicking around somewhere. He's probably lost some hair and is managing the press for us. There he is over there. I had 35 phone calls on Thursday. About 30 of those were from Alistair, just checking how we're getting on. Okay, next is my fiancée Melanie, who's kicking around here somewhere. She's not going to identify herself, I'd imagine. She's keeping very quiet. This is the third time I've told her this is the last journey. I think she believes me this time. No plans for Iceland. Jason, who has towed us 3 out of 3, he's kicking around seamlessly despite ever deteriorating tow ropes. DB Diving, our safety boat, and there seems to be a lot of them. I'm only kidding, most of them are press, but Dave is out there somewhere, and he's our official safety boat. He's doing it free, an absolutely amazing guy, and if it weren't for him, there's a possibility of death, but obviously with him around, we're not going to die. Also out there somewhere in the waves flying an H4H flag is Chris Archer, who's another boat going out with us today, and I think he's actually taking the captain out, but he's out there somewhere with a flag. I think that's the yeah, that's all the thanks. Okay, next are our sponsors. These guys here. Actually, I pointed out to VCAM. Actually, it's a company called Mercedes. They give us £1,000, and also some portable handheld camera, which is kicking around somewhere. Are you about to hook it out? Oh, you are. Oh, there we go. Anyway, easy. Well, that whiskey from this morning. They gave us a camera which is waterproof, shockproof, carboat proof, and we're going to record our antics, as you might put it, out today with them. Also, Line are prepared to bring us back on the HSS this evening, which is very nice of them, despite what this thing looks like. However, I did get the guy at Line is a lovely fellow called Nigel Tyson. And he's been an absolute star. I mean, you said we'll do it free, we'll make an announcement. It doesn't matter what it looks like, we'll get you on, we'll give some, we'll get some guys at the other end to sort it out. He phoned me about 8 o'clock last night, and he said, Peter, the operations manager of the Stena Line on the 1950 ferry service just wants to let you know there's 700 Celtic fans coming back on the ferry. So think carefully as to whether or not you have a Union flag flying as you roll up in the docking lines. Thanks, Nigel. Good tip. Okay. Finally, we have some serving members of the armed forces. This is what it's all about here today. I'd like to thank especially Captain Pickett, who's here representing the RM, and I know there's and Pilot Officer Stewart here in my left ear here, and they're representing the forces, and it's important because that's what it's all about. Which brings us on to H4H, Help for Heroes. That's why this whole project has happened. It's why so much work has gone into it. We've raised about £2,800 so far. But it's really the publicity, it's really the guys out there who don't look like sailors but are actually the press that actually make the difference. It's a new organisation, it's only existed 2 years. It's planning to raise £20 million by, I think, the end of this year sometime. It's really the press and the publicity that makes a difference. But also there are people walking around with little rattly things. Please, if you haven't given before, and I know a lot of you have, don't leave without sticking something actually in it. Okay, we were going to do a 5 Live interview this morning, and the guy phoned me up from 5 Live and said, Peter, I'm sorry, we're not doing an interview, there's breaking news. And I said, what is it? And he said, well, the guy who's running against Hamid Karzai in Afghanistan is thinking of pulling out of the election, and I'm sorry, it's too big a story and there's too much happening. And Afghanistan's very unstable, but it's these sort of guys here who are standing here, who are actually the guys walking around at 40 degrees with I don't know how much on their backs, who are actually there on our behalf. If you saw the press, you might have saw a quote that says, if you want democracy, somebody's got to pay for it. And the guys who are actually paying for it are guys like this here. We enjoy democracy in this country. Afghanistan is a fledgling democracy, but if it wasn't for these guys out there, we might have bombs, and we've had our own share of troubles in Northern Ireland, but we could have this sort of terrorism on our streets again, and that's what it's all about. Rick asked me, Rick, sorry. Rick, who's our driver, who can't drive, but he's now the most accomplished. I think he also has the world record for the most amphibious trips into the sea. And he genuinely can't drive. Rick said, "What are you going to say? What sort of say? What sort of inspiring words are you going to say?" And I thought about this, and I thought, well, maybe Henry V. A few lines, we happy few, we band of brothers. And I thought, no, maybe not. And then I thought, well, maybe Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Or perhaps some words from Robert Browning's Prospice, which was what Shackleton really liked. And in fact, if you have a look at the front of the boat, it says Fortitudine Visimus, which is Latin, obviously, and translates to by endurance we conquer. And that's what we're going to obviously be enduring today. It may look calm out there. There are 8-foot waves in the Beaufort Dyke today. It may look really calm out here. I can assure you that is not what it's going to look like 11 miles offshore. So, by endurance we conquer. And Shackleton loved this poem, Prospice. Suddenly the worst turns the best to the brave. And I thought maybe saying something like that. Actually, I'm going to give it to a Yank. It's not even from here, but I think it's very much in keeping with the project. And it's Roosevelt. And it's a few lines, and it sort of illustrates really what this project is really all about. It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out where the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. That's what we're embarking on today. God save the Queen.